Welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesdays, where I share conversations that I have with successful women, all answering the same questions. And then we simply chat it up a bit. You get to be a fly on the wall in these conversations. Today, I'm chatting about quality of life with Nina Afshar. Nina is an immigrant from Iran, an entrepreneur, and mother to an active and vibrant daughter. Formerly an architect, now a real estate powerhouse. She's on a mission to transform lives by providing opportunities, growth, and keys to our dreams through real estate and investment. I thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with Nina. I hope you enjoy watching it.
Hello.
No, great to see you.
You as well. How are you?
Doing great.
Thank you for having me for the first episode. This is exciting.
I know, I'm very excited that you're here, and thank you for being a willing and excited participant.
Of course. Anytime.
I really did just kind of throw this at you when we met at coffee for the first time. I would
I
love
know.
for you to be, I've been thinking about doing this, and you really were a great encourager to me. And you made me feel like what the idea that I had really made sense. So thank you for your
Yeah,
support in that.
of course. Of course. That's what we need. That's what you need, a community, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. All right.
Abs-
So are you ready to dive in with my first question?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go.
All righty. So what is quality of life to you?
That is a very good question. What is the quality of life to me? For me, it's honestly, I'm not huge into balance. I'm not like, oh, I have to have a balance between how much I sleep and how much I eat and how much I spend time with this and that. For me, the quality of life is when you are happy with the progress you're making. And at the same time, enough time that you want to spend with the people that you love in your life.
Mhm.
So as long as I am making money and I'm making progress and I have my daughter either with me or at close enough that I can spend some quality time with her and my parents, and then after that my friends, I'm good. For me, that's the quality of life. And I think there are a lot of times that whether because of personal reasons or economical, social reasons, there are a lot of obstacles that you might feel they're too big for you to overcome, and that lowers the quality of life. So as long as those are good, I'm good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How have you been able to incorporate that into your own life?
The like the quality of life, honestly, right now I am in the beginning phases of my business, and my daughter is barely 3.5, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of chaos, and I've learned to embrace the chaos, and there are moments that I'm like, I feel like fumes are coming out of my brain. I'm like getting my daughter ready, going to school, coming back, seeing friends, family, taking care of this, taking care of that, and then business, clients, and all of that. But I have come to realize that as long as everybody around me is healthy and I am healthy, and
Mm,
I get to wake up every day and I have God in my life and in my business and I have them with me, I can go through anything.
yeah.
So for me, it's and then understanding to be aggressively patient, just patient, but just waiting for good things to come around, for things to change. That's how I have been able to incorporate that in my life.
What a powerful statement. Aggressively patient. Okay, hold
Thank
on a
you.
second. Wow. Yes, aggressively patient. I feel like I'm in that season too of I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to enjoy the ride. But I mean, I really love that aggressively patient phrase.
Right. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I hear you saying is just, by having that foundation of what's core to you, that really helps foster that path for you to quality of life because, everybody's definition is subjective, you know, and, just knowing that you have that really helps.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Where have you struggled with incorporating quality of life?
With, I really don't like not making progress. So whenever I feel like I'm not making, it's okay if things aren't perfect, but if I feel like I'm not making progress, things aren't moving forward, I get down. And honestly, another thing is, I'm a mom and I'm a very giving person. So I give to everybody around me until I'm empty. So then you can't give what you don't have, right? So if
Right.
I don't have energy, if I haven't spent enough time with me and I haven't taken care of myself, I can't take care of the things around me that I want to. So that's one of my biggest
Right.
struggles, or it has been in the past, because I just go until my tank is empty. So I've just learned to just stop in the middle, take a deep breath, and refuel, so then I can, keep going and understand that progress doesn't come overnight. Even progress, you have to kind of like wait for it to happen, and be kind on myself and not be too hard on myself. So those are the areas that I have struggled the most. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it has to happen now. Why hasn't it? What's wrong with me? What have I not done? And then you realize that you're just empty.
Yes. Yes. And I see that as a challenge for a lot of us women who are, wanting to be business people and have children, responsibilities that, the biggest challenge is how do we not get to that point where we are absolutely depleted before we realize that we're absolutely depleted?
Exactly.
What are the
That's very
signs? What are those? What does that look like for you? Or what does that look like for me? And for me, you know what? I start getting emotional. I don't know about you, but as soon as I
mm.
realize that I am getting depleted, I'm usually very weepy for reasons that don't make a lot of sense to me.
Right, right. I understand. Yeah,
I
it's
mean, there's always
true.
something to cry about, but
Yeah.
it's little things like, oh, I'm just having my coffee in the morning and it just feels so good.
Love it. That's
Everything in
all.
my life is amazing, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I must be really tired if this is what's making me cry.
That's interesting. Very true.
How about
Very
you?
true.
Do you recognize any of your signs?
So for me, sorry. So for me, one of the biggest signs, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to like my drawers, my closets, my cupboards and all of that. So I realize whenever my drawers are messy, if I open the closet door and
Yeah.
everything is in order, I know that I'm not well. Because if you look at the surface of my house, it's normal. It's not like a museum, which I would like it to be. But I have a daughter. It's life. It's
Yeah.
chaotic. I take care of things when I can, and then when I have time, I do like a deep clean, or I have somebody do it, whatever. But for me, one of the signs is when I realize that things are like things that I put normally in one place, I can't find. Like if I can't find
Yes.
my, let's say, the book that I was reading, or if I can't find my journal, if I can't find the pen that I wanted, or my kitchen is a chaos, I understand that I need to just take a step back, take like half a day or one day maybe, just to like take care of me, come back to me. And then when you say emotional, I get extremely cranky and frustrated,
Mm.
like short tempered. I'm like, my daughter says one thing, the second thing, I'm like, oh my God, why is she asking for so much? And then I realize, Nina, it's you. You just have
Yeah.
to, you have to like calm down. You have to do something to calm you down, because she's not really asking for that much, or people around you are okay. It's really you. You haven't taken care of yourself enough to understand that you can take care of things that are happening outside of you.
Yes. Yes. Identifying the signs I have found is so important. Because honestly, that the whole cliche, if we're not in control of ourselves, we can't be in control of anything else. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. But they all apply.
That's
They'll
true.
definitely apply. But I catch myself a lot saying, I need to stay away from the circle and the rim of, the black hole. And I think I probably mentioned this on some other recordings with other people as well, but it's so powerful for me to have that kind of verbiage and that identifier so that because I don't know. I found once I dive into that proverbial hole, it's really hard to get back out. It's so much easier to stay away from it. So,
Correct.
but and they are honestly very small quality of life killers. I heard this story today about the frog that it dies without knowing it, where you're in the pot and the heat just keeps
Oh,
turned up and up and up, and the frog doesn't really notice it, and then all of a sudden the frog is dead type thing. And I can see how that is for us as women when we're doing so many things for so
yes.
many people.
Exactly. And you know, one thing, Chelsea, that's been very interesting for me is I about a month ago I cut sugar and carbs completely out of my diet.
Hmm.
And I don't drink coffee, so I didn't have the caffeine, like giving me making me hyper. But I've realized that as women, we have I don't want to label it ADD, ADHD, whatever, but because we are, we're not like men that are single focused. We
Yeah.
basically have diffused focus, right? So if what you eat makes you feel jumpy, you get tired quicker. So you're
Mhm.
depleted. Like for me, I might get tired, but I'm not depleted as I used to be, because it used to drain me, like the
Yes.
adrenaline or
Yes.
the endorphin or sugar. I think when the sugar was low, then I would
Mhm.
feel that frustration was more. And I would think about my day and I would realize I haven't really done that much, but my energy is depleted because
Yes.
of what I consume that is like taking too much of my energy. So
Yes.
that's it's been my experience. I know it doesn't affect everybody the same, but
Mhm.
my experiment is no caffeine. I have tea, I have black tea, but no caffeine, no sugar, no carbs has helped me a lot with keeping my energy.
That's nice. And you mean processed carbs, right? Because you still eat vegetables and
Yes,
okay, good.
yes, I do
Like you eat
vegetables,
only
greens,
protein, that's
salad.
it?
No, I can't
Protein
do
and
that.
fat?
Right now, I'm not eating any fruits, which is the most difficult part because I have a certain weight that I'm going to get to, and then because I
Yes.
love fruits. It's like I used to have fruits for meals, but uh, yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
no processed carbs. Yes,
Great. Yeah, I was just curious because again, we all have to do and try and figure out what works best for us. I can't tell you,
right,
cutting out the sugar is the thing that's going to make your life better and vice versa. We're all on our own path. And of course, there's doctors can tell us that kind of stuff because there's data behind it. But that's the beauty of this process. That's the beauty of me asking so many people, what's quality of life for you and how are you achieving that and where are you struggling?
correct.
I'm finding that we're all kind of having a little bit of a similar answer, but
Mm,
they're all unique at the same time.
makes sense. That's interesting. I like that. Okay.
And so, as a mom, how do you find yourself putting yourself in situations where you're making sure to fill yourself up so that you can, be more available for her? It seems like it's always a struggle for us, or not a struggle. That is really I call a seesaw.
Right, right. Yeah. So what I have learned, look, I'm a first time mom and one time mom because I only have one child at least, as of now. So my daughter was born and I was like a hovering mom, and I was like a mama bear. Mine, I'm not gonna give it, I'll put her to sleep, I will feed her, I'll just be there. And as much as I wanted other people, it's so funny because I would say I want somebody to take care of her. And then if somebody wanted to take care of her, I'll be like, no, 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 nobody can take care of her. I have to take care of her, right? And I realized that as women, it's it's a part of us. It's also taught to us that you're not supposed to ask for help. You have to figure everything out on your own. So something that I had learned is I have to let go of that control that I'm going to do everything and I'm the best for every role. And you have to learn to ask for help.
Yes.
Like my ex would want his mom to take care of her, and I was so reluctant. No, I can't do that, but my daughter's going to be away from me for 2 hours. And then at the same time I'll be like, oh my god, I don't have any energy, I haven't seen my friends, I'm not doing any business, I haven't gotten out of the house. So you kind
Yeah.
of have to let go of that and ask for help.
Mhm.
Even if it is 1 hour, like sometimes I asked my mom, I'm like, I know you can't really take care of her for too long, but just be with her for an hour. And even Chelsea, if it is me going to the car, recording a video, I feel good. I'm like,
Mm.
an
Good.
hour just for my thoughts, for myself, for the, what I want to do. And then I'm good. So for me, it was mainly letting go of that. I have to do everything myself and asking for help.
Yes, exactly. We're so far away culturally from community living like we used to be that we hear
Yes.
out from generations before. We don't live with our grandparents anymore unless there's a reason, you know.
Right, right.
Um, We move away from our parents for the most part. We live in neighborhoods where we park our car in the garage and then we go into our house that way.
So
And
true.
we don't really interact a lot with people like we used to. And I believe to a degree we've been paying the cost for that unless we're
Yes.
very mindful about reaching out. You know, I like to believe I like to believe this. I'm gonna say it. I can't even say it without laughing. Uh, I like to believe that I really work towards being interdependent. But anybody that knows me, I can't even say it, knows how independent I am. I'll do it, no problem. I'll do it. I'll get the ladder
There
out.
you
I'll
go.
climb on the ladder. I'll hang the thing. I'll build the thing. And that is definitely a practice, especially as I'm getting a little bit older and my energy levels are not as profound as they used to be, where I'm like,
Right.
I need help. I really do. I need you to, can you come in my backyard and help me build this thing where I would normally do it on my own? And then the next day I have absolutely no energy, but I did it.
Right, right. And you take pride in that because
I did
it
it.
is something to be proud about.
Yes.
Yes. You honestly gave me goosebumps talking about that whole the community and interdependent. I'm not kidding. Like I literally had a goosebump because I remember I'm from Iran and I grew up hearing about how so and so's daughter was born, but the mother wasn't able to breastfeed, but her sister or her
Yeah.
neighbor also had a child. So the neighbor fed, like breastfed her child.
Yeah.
Now, if you talk about that, everybody's like, oh my God, are you crazy? That's not possible. Or how you would leave your child with three other kids with the neighbor, go take care of things and come back, take care, pick up your kids and go home. And
Yeah.
that's you it doesn't exist anymore. And I read this book by Alison Armstrong that I think I told you about. The book is about, I forget which of her books talks about that, but talks about how, when we say hunters and gatherers, men were hunters, we were the gatherers. We would have to go through the meadow, find the leaves, find the plants, just know what plant is poisonous, which one is not.
Right.
So in our brain, in our, like the lizard brain back in our back of our head, we're still that instinctively
Yeah.
controlling as women, because we're like, if you don't go the right path, you might see a hive of bees that are going to stung you, or you might see the bear, or you might get the wrong plant. That's why we
Right.
can't really let go of control, because we're like, if I don't do it myself, the whole village is going to die.
Yeah.
Like, because we are still thinking communal. We're like, oh my God, but if you do whatever I'm doing, and hang the picture and it's a little bit left-sided, or if it's not completely straight, it's going to be a catastrophe and everybody's going to die.
I don't think I find myself thinking exactly that, but I know what you're talking about of
Right.
I catch myself saying, I can do this faster and sometimes I can do it better, right? I know like I'll hire somebody if I think they can do it better. But if I can do it, I'll do it, you know.
Right,
No,
right.
that's a very good point. That could for me very well be, going all the way back to, lineages of ancestors that we just needed to survive.
Right, right.
Yeah. And I was just literally talking on another one with someone about survival mode and what that looks like, you know, and for them. And, there's a reality to it.
Right. That's true. Yeah, it's true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What else can we chit chat about? Do you have any questions?
Well, nothing that comes to my mind, but I want to know what else you have that we can talk about.
So this is a free flow. We can talk about whatever we want. We can talk about the kind of tea you're drinking. I'm drinking water out of a large mason jar.
I love that. I am drinking, this is Persian tea or black tea, basically, which is you put the leaves, the way we do it, you put the leaves in a teapot, and then, put hot water over it. I have put little rose flowers in this with cardamom,
Mm.
like, chopped up cardamom. And then back home, you have the tea kettle, and then you put which is like the one that boils I guess, I don't know what you call it, the boiler, and then you put the kettle on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then the steam will kind of cook the tea.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Do
it
you,
like steams it.
is that known as a samovar or is a samovar for something else?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, yes, we had samovars back home,
Yes.
and then they turned into kind of like the samovars that you put on your stove,
Mm-hmm.
and you turn the stove very low so the water is not boiling, but it's always hot. And it's so interesting, Chelsea. I went to school in Colorado. I got my master's degree in architecture there, and then there was a program called Design Build Bluff out of the University of Utah, that it would take groups of students to the deserts of Utah where the Navajo live, and you would live outside the reservation, like maybe 10, 15, 20 miles outside the reservation. And every day you would have to travel, like with car, to the reservation and build a house for a Navajo family with your own hands as architecture students. And during the summer, it was scorching hot, like very, very, very hot during the summer, because we started, I believe in, how can I forget when it was? But we started, it was the fall semester. So we
Okay.
started when it was still hot, and then we went into, fall and winter, and it got very cold. But I'd always heard, if you've ever heard, they say you drink hot tea when it's hot, you feel cooler. So
Gosh.
every day I would get a pot of tea, or one of those little what is it? What do you call the like
Like the
oh my
thermos
God,
or
the thermos?
yeah.
Yes, I'll get like a little thermos with hot tea with me, and every day at lunch I would have a hot cup of tea, and every day I would feel cooler.
Okay, everybody, that's something to note. I never ever would have considered that in my life because that's counterintuitive to me, but I'm going to try it.
You know why? I'd always heard it from my parents and grandparents, and I was always like, just like what you say, what are you talking about? If it's hot out, you need to drink something cold. But your body temperature when you drink tea goes higher than the outside temperature. So the outside feels cooler to you. So you
Okay.
cool down. You should definitely try it this time when you're in somewhere very hot and you
Yeah,
drink something hot and it cools you down.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah, it was
But
that
for
was
anybody who's a fly on the wall in our conversation, this is one of the things I love about women is that we love to just talk about anything random. And then we're always, it seems like we're always sharing some kind of tidbit or some tips and tricks about things that work. And
right.
we have all these opportunities to enhance and encourage each other in life. And that to me, I'm going to go to Georgia next month and it's about to be really hot and I'm going to try it and I'm going to report
You know,
back to you and see how what my experience was like. But it's going to be hot there.
I know. Try it and let me know. Let me
Okay,
know
I
if you
will.
feel, because after you drink it, you're like, oh my God, I feel cooler. I don't feel as hot anymore. But yes, and I speak from experience.
Well, I've found us to be like-minded individuals as women. We're both very driven, very high achieving, very excited to bring our gifts to other people to really help them to achieve what they want to do. Will you share with me a little bit about what you've been up to? And if you're up to sharing that little fun thing that I saw on Instagram lately, I would love for you to share about that as well.
The videos that I'm sharing? Yeah, of course, absolutely. So my background is in architecture. I actually have a bachelor's degree in physics and I have a master's degree in architecture. And I have a love for design. I know you are an interior designer, so you understand my desire for creating, like creativity. I see something, I'm like, I want to create that. I want to have that. I want to, especially if it's art, anything that is artsy. I look at it and I always think, how did they make it? How was it made? So I have that inside me, and I work as an architect for a good while, for like 6, 7 years, and um, it was during COVID, and I got introduced to the insurance business. I went into insurance business, and I didn't have a child. I was a single woman, and then COVID happened. I quit my job, and I dove into insurance 100%. I became a broker. And then after my daughter was born, I realized that I couldn't really put all my focus on that business because you can't really do it from home as much as you can do real estate. So I went into real estate, and I have to say, honestly, the first time I showed a home to a client, I understood why people say I love real estate, because there's honestly a satisfaction you get from thinking or feeling that you are providing where people are going to live for them. And there's a level of gratitude and satisfaction that comes with that I felt it the first time I showed a home to a client. And and she's like, this is the what I'm looking for. And I was like, oh my God, I am going to find you the place that I'm going to find you your nest, right?
Yeah.
So, but before I became an agent, I dove into the investment side, and I learned so much about investments, creative finance, seller carry, which are a lot of terms that a lot of people don't know about. But they're like alternative ways that people can sell their property if they have to sell, or people can buy a property if they don't have a good credit, if they don't have a good down payment. And then I joined, it became like part of a group of agents and brokers that are doing amazing, fantastic things. And I really connected with them because it's all about, the team and how everybody's doing it. So I joined their trainings and I started learning and learning. So what I'm doing now, I'm running a campaign for 30 days. And I learned that from another, a big shout out to Will Higgins, because I learned from him. He ran a campaign for 30 days. His was to generate $20 million in real estate sales. And as far as I know, in March, when he started it, he hadn't done any sales. And I think today he's done like 7 or 8 or more. He has closed more, like 7 or 8 deals. Wow. So I'm like, I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm running a campaign on Instagram and on TikTok that I am on to create momentum on a 30-day challenge to generate $10 million in real estate sales. So today would be day 5. And every day, obviously, I'm a mom. So a big chunk of my day is just being a mom. But every day I create some sort of an activity. If I don't have anything, I do networking. Or if I don't have anything, I just do my cold calls for 2 hours, 3 hours. Or I go to networking events, or I drive to like show clients something. And then we close one deal on Wednesday. So there's a little bit of, yes, thank you, a little bit of momentum that is being generated. So nice. That is what I'm doing. And you can join me. I know you are a life coach, so you can join me in catering that to your business.
I was just thinking of my content created. Yeah. Your content is phenomenal. I want to say when we're done with this call, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to ask you, what are you creating your content with? Because it's so creative and very engaging. And so if anybody's watching this and she's still in the middle of her 100-day challenge, or even, I don't know, you will probably have, it's more than your stories, right? It's on your Instagram forever. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and leave all your contact info for people to find you. But it's really, really good. And I'm a creator myself of, all kinds of content, and always learning, always growing. And yours is just phenomenal.
Thank you. So I'll just tell you right now what I do. And then later on after this, I can show you how I do it too. But I want anybody who is going to watch this, I use CapCut, which there's a free version and there's a pro version. And I think they're all relatively cheap. I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I think CapCut for a whole year is like $60. You pay for the whole year. Mm-hmm. And then I use Captions, which is $69 for a whole year. And I know there are people who only use Caption. I've gotten used to CapCut because you can cut your videos and attach them together. So I do that there, and then I bring it to Captions and I put the captions on it. Mm-hmm. And this is my process. I know people do captions, all of it in Captions. I put the music on Captions too, but then I bring it to Instagram and I choose the music on Instagram.
Yeah, it's so many.
I know.
So many options, so many options.
I know. It's whichever comes easier, but I choose the music on Instagram because it promotes you as well.
There's how to play the game.
Yes.
How to play the game on the platform. Yes. Thank you for sharing your content creation trade secrets.
Yes. Of course. No, it's the more you share, the more you get back too. So
yes. Yes,
you know.
I agree. Well, thank you for our time together. It has been
Of course.
so beautiful to get to see you again and catch up a little bit. And thank you for answering my intrusive questions and being vulnerable and honest.
Of course. I have to really say thank you to you, because this is very, I know there are a lot of people doing podcasts, but I really like this because your questions are authentic and you don't come from a place of I want to be famous and I want to ask, questions. You're just like a very humble community leader. So I appreciate your questions and thank you for connecting with me. Thank you for having me. And I hope you can grow this to like millions of viewers and millions of people that you're going to interview.
Thank you. I think this is the time I'm supposed to say like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You
No,
guys should follow. By the way, your background is amazing. It's
thank
like
you.
it is your house, right?
Yes.
It is
Yes.
literally like the backgrounds that Zoom has.
Oh, yes. Well, so this is what happens so you mentioned that I am an interior designer, but I am a retired interior designer. So I no longer service anybody else unless I love you. And yeah, but so this is kind of the fallout of that is I really enjoy making things look beautiful and I'm never going to be able to turn it off.
Of
Thank you
course.
for
What a
that.
great gift. It's beautiful.
Thank you. All right, well,
Yes.
I'm going to sign us off. Thank you again.
Thank you
And
so
we'll
much.
see you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Stay tuned next week when I speak with Jess and Jackie, two amazing professional women who did not back down from any of the questions I asked them. Okay, so in what ways do you all struggle with incorporating cultivating quality of life? And they so willingly speak their truth and their experience.
That feeling of tired but survival mode is real.
It's almost like if you're not moving, you're not productive, and if you're sitting down, you're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm Chelsea. I'm here to help women build and incorporate quality of life into our everyday busy lives. See you next week.